Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Score, the podcast that brings you the views and opinions of those in the news, brought to you by Khel. I am your host Ashish Negi, and let's talk about our guest today. We have a very special guest with us. Our guest today held the fortunes of the Indian football team in the palm of his hand for the best part of 8 years across two separate stints. A man with strong opinion and never want to back down in tough situation. He remains a polarizing figure who continues to divide opinion in the country's football circles to this day. It's a warm welcome to former Blue Tiger tactician Stephen Constantine. Hi coach, how are you doing? How lockdown is treating you? How's your family?
First, namaste. Thank you for the invitation. No, we are good, thankfully. I could have been anywhere in the world, but when the lockdown began, I was here in Cyprus, and thankfully I had my family with me, so we are all good. Thank you.
So you have been traveling all across your life, and how this time, you have been coaching India, various countries. You have been always out from home. So how important was this time, during the lockdown to spend time with your girls, family together at one place?
It's been fantastic. Prior to the lockdown or my leaving India, I hadn't lived with my own family for 6 years. So I missed 6 years from the lives of the girls growing up. I would come home for 2 weeks, go for 3 months, come home for 10 days, go for 4 months. So it was very difficult for my wife also and for the family. So which was one of the major reasons why after the Asian Cup, I said, I need to go home and be with my family for a little bit. And as luck would have it, or bad luck, when the lockdown happened, I was in Cyprus, so I couldn't go anywhere else anyway. So
you're enjoying your time with your family. Everybody is enjoying during the lockdown.
Maybe not everybody, but...
Okay, before we move into the football, I just want to tell our listener and viewers who are watching on our YouTube channel that this is the one of first time when Stephen is come on, with Indian media after he's left India, Indian job, after Asia Cup, after winning first match in Asia Cup after so many edition. So we welcome you again. So let's talk about, your first instinct. Not many of the young viewers know that you were in India before also, and you came, and before that you were in Nepal. So let's talk about your stint to Nepal and India. How come a British coach coming to coach, a small country, Nepal in South Asia, and then joining India? Let's talk about these two things first.
Well, Nepal was an unbelievable experience. My first national team. It was unexpected. Obviously, I think when you think about your career, you feel that you want to go in a certain direction, but football doesn't always give you the direction that you particularly want. I had 2 very special years in Nepal. I enjoyed my time there. My family were with me from the beginning, so we actually went to Nepal with 1 daughter and left with 2. Then following that, when we went to India, we went to India with 2 daughters and I left with 3. So it's been good for my family. Southeast Asia has been very special to me.
Okay.
But yeah, Nepal, obviously we did okay. We went to the SAF finals and lost to Bangladesh in a very, very late goal. And of course, I was extremely privileged to receive the Prabal Daksimbao from His Majesty King Birendra, which is hanging on my wall in the living room. So it was special times. Obviously, after I left Nepal, I went back to England. I was working in the academy at AFC Bournemouth, and I got a call from Mr. Colasso asking if I would be interested in the position of the Indian national team. I can only imagine that they were impressed with the work that we did in Nepal. And sometime after, I joined India in the first time, which was 2002.
Oh, 2002, sorry.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that time, what you inherited that time. What was the status of the team? fitness, infrastructure, how Indian players were training, or have do they have any diet plan or something? Just tell the young, new fans of Indian football.
I can in a simple way to explain what you see now and what we had then was like night and day. To give you an example, the national team, we were using Shiv Naresh as our sponsor.
Yeah, kit sponsor.
Honestly, for the uniforms.
Yeah, kit sponsor.
Yeah, kit sponsor. And it was not great. I was given permission to make some calls with my connections to see if we could find a kit sponsor. Adidas were the first ones to show the All India Football Federation some love. And I think the first time we wore the Adidas uniforms was in the Afro-Asian Games. And that day, when they delivered the boxes to our hotel in Hyderabad, was about 16 cartons. Because they made a mistake, Adidas, and said, "What do you need?" And I wrote down everything I could think of. And to be honest, to Adidas, they gave us everything we had. And I had Joe Polancheri, Ian Bijan, Baichun in my bedroom helping me with the boxes, and two of them were in tears because they could not. We never had this kind of equipment, and it was fantastic moment. So that's where we're at. We had Mahesh Gawali, who went down with a serious illness because the players were housed in a guest house which was backed onto the stables of buffaloes, literally backed on, and he contracted the disease, was out of the national team for that point. We weren't staying in hotels, we were staying in guest houses, we weren't flying, we were taking trains. And if any of your listeners have done the train ride from Delhi to Jamshedpur, we didn't have, in the beginning, we did not have a bed. We had seating, and as the trip got on, people left. Then we were able to get some beds, and from Delhi to Jamshedpur is 23 hours.
Yeah, nearly one day.
And that is a hell of a trip, by the way. No internet, of course, at the time. Mobile phones were limited. It was... the players now, they don't know how lucky they are compared to the players back then. So it was very challenging. The league was obviously the I-League. I think there were 16 or 18 teams at the time.
Yeah, NFL, not I-League that time.
Sorry. And then we had the Durand Cup, the Santos Trophy. The players were playing 100 games a season. With travel conditions were extremely difficult. The pitches were not great. The food and accommodation was terrible. And it was really, really difficult. Plus, when I arrived, the team was not great. Average age was, I think, 32, 33 years old. And we had to start from zero. But by the time we had left in 2005, I believe that we had achieved a great deal on and off the pitch. We were staying in good hotels. I made a deal with a hotel chain that the AIFF then developed and improved. But of course, in all of this, you had the AIFF supporting me every step of the way. Obviously, I didn't get every single thing I wanted. But they saw the need to change. And that was important.
Yeah. So when you came, so there are two tournaments which we want to speak about. Of course, you have touched them both. First is Afro-Asian Games, and second is LG Cup, which took place in Vietnam, for which you were going to Jamshedpur to have a 1 month long camp. You know,
Correct.
I was very, very young, but I was not watching Indian football that time, but I have made my journey through it. So I have gone through each and every chapter of Indian football. So can you sum up how these both tournaments, help you to prepare for making Indian team, get some new talent in, bring down the average age also?
The first competition was the LG Cup, which was organized by a guy called Kashmiri from Strata. They had made the invite. It was supposed to be an 8-nation tournament, and we were using it as preparation for the Asian Games.
Asian Games, yeah.
And basically, when Mr. Colasso suggested it to me, I said, okay. He goes, look, you're going to have 2 games, which is the group stages, and that will be your 2 friendly games. Everything is covered. No problem. Let me remind you also that it was an under-23 team.
Yeah. Only 3 people were senior: Baiching, Jopal Acharya, I think Ghosh.
And Debjit Ghosh.
Yeah, Debjit Ghosh. And Jopal Acharya also. 3.
Yes. Jopal, Baiching and Debjit. Okay, off we go to Vietnam. We worked very hard in Jamshedpur. We go to Vietnam. We drew our first game, I think 2-2 with Singapore. And then we played the Vietnamese under-23 team. And we beat them 3-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Then, so we're like, oh my God, we're in the semi-finals. And in the semi-final, we were played against an Indonesian club team.
Yeah.
The previous champions of the tournament. We beat them 3-0. And then we faced the senior Vietnamese side in the final. And I will never forget this game because we were 2-0 down after 20 minutes. And I remember I took off Ajayan, who was playing on the left side, and I put in Tomba Singh.
Yeah.
Tomba had a fantastic game. Baichung made it 2-1 just before half time. We had a few words in the changing rooms, as we normally do, and we made it 2-2, and then I made a substitution. I think Abhishek Yadav came on. Yeah, 80-something minute. I think with his first touch, scored from a header from a fantastic cross by Joe Polancheri. And I can tell you there was about 6 or 7 minutes added for time added on. I don't know where they got that from. It was unarmed combat on the field. I mean, the Vietnamese boys were kicking the absolute stuff out of our Indian players, but we had some strong players in that team, super characters. I mean, Debjit Ghosh, absolute rock, Joe Paul, Baichung. You had Venki Bhai also was there, and Deepak Mondal. So some top, not only top players but leaders, and that was very important for me. And of course, all this time next to me, I had Sukhvinder, who was the national team coach before me. What a fantastic man, person. I mean, I remember the first time I met him, I said to him, Sukiji, are you okay with me being the coach? And he said to me, if it's for the betterment of Indian football, then yes. And we stayed together for 3 years. It was a special moment.
Just to tell you, Sukhiji came in between, so I just want to inform you, you will be very happy to know that this year, just now, he has been awarded Dronacharya Award by the Indian government.
I wished him already.
Yeah, so I think for our viewers also. Also, another thing is, by winning LG Cup, India won a good prize money at that time, $16,000. nearly, I don't know, 7.2 lakhs rupees, in 2002 or 3 was a good money. So how was the feeling in the camp, winning a tournament, even if it's club team, under 23 team, going away from home, getting trophy back, for many of these players, it was first trophy. So how it was the feeling, in the dressing room after winning it?
I think euphoria is the best way to describe it. There were players crying. That was the first tournament that India won outside of the subcontinent ever. To go to Vietnam, to lose 2-0 after 20 minutes, and then come back and win 3-2 in the final minute. Those things don't happen very often, and certainly not to Indian national teams. So it was fantastic moment for Indian football, and I think that was the beginning of the long road to India regaining her respect in football terms against the other nations in Asia, and that's where for me it all started.
Yeah, and after that, the Afro-Asian Games, there were quite a good team who came to play in India. India was in the group of Rwanda, Malaysia under 21, Ghana. Uzbekistan was in another group who eventually won the tournament. So what were your thoughts, during the build-up of this tournament, just winning the LG Cup in Vietnam?
As usual, we like a little bit of controversy in India. And when I had selected IM Vijayan to play, people were telling me he's this, he's that, he can't score, he's old, he's too slow, has a bad lifestyle. Okay, but he shows me in training, he shows me on the pitch. I spent a lot of time with IM. I don't think India ever going to produce a player like him again. He was unbelievable.
That's a big statement to make, for anybody,
Well, there are good players and there will be good players coming, but you have to understand in the time in 2002, 2005, you got to understand what teams we were playing, the number of games we played, and where we were playing those games. I mean, we went to Kuwait, and won 3-2. Jerry Zerzanga, 16 years old and something, the youngest player ever to play for India, and he scores on his debut. Those things don't happen every day. India doesn't go to Kuwait and win. So and we're talking back in 2002. So it's easy now difficult to compare now, because games, you can find easy games, a lot of games. There's lots of little competitions. We didn't have that in those days. We played 6, maybe 7 games in a year if we were lucky. So that tournament for me was fantastic. At least we're going to have 3 games against 3 quality oppositions. And I will tell you a sub story to the game. We beat Rwanda 5-2 or 5-3.
I think 3-1.
We beat somebody 5-2. I think maybe Zimbabwe.
Yeah, in the semi-final, I think.
Yeah.
5-3.
5-3, yeah.
So before you move to semi-final, I just want to ask, want to touch again on IM Vijayan. There was, as you said, there was a controversy of his selection, and he scored the first goal of the tournament just after 13 minutes. Scored again in the group stage, scored 2 goals, took India to the semi-final. So what about that? Did you? How did the surrounding or people around you react to that?
Well, I remember the press conference after the final game, and I said, well, obviously we're disappointed we didn't win, but we lost 1-0 to Uzbekistan. But by the way, who was the top scorer of the tournament? And all of the media looked at me. I said, I think it was IM Vijayan, in case you didn't know. But so, you got to trust what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And I was so happy when he was banging those goals. And obviously, you love to be proved right, but I picked him because he was the best at that time.
Yeah, and maybe this moment in the Afro-Asian Games might have changed your persona in front of the, say, Indian football media of that time. You're coming from outside. The people always think, it's a British coach. So there is lots of doubts in the mind of the people, So it might have helped you to make your authority strong in the media also.
Look, I think for me, when we came back to Kolkata with the LG Cup, it took us 2 hours from coming out of immigration to going to the bus outside. 2 hours. There was 10,000 people there that welcomed this Indian team and the trophy. So that will tell you what it means to the fans. Personally, I was, on both occasions, extremely honored and privileged to have coached the Indian national team and to be part of the success on both occasions. I can't put it into words. Obviously, I didn't do this by myself. I had players who were willing to help and work and do the things that I asked for them. And there are always going to be people who have different opinions and different ideas, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make the best choice for India because it was my head on the line. And I did that every single time, every single day that I was in India. Whether you like the style, the play or whatever, you got to play to your strengths. We can't play this way or that way or this way or that way. We have a certain way of playing, in my opinion. And that's how we played. Now, you can say you don't like it. You can say whatever you want, but the results the first time are there, and they're there the second time. After that, if you don't like, because I didn't pick your player or we didn't play your particular style of play, that's fine. When you are the national coach, you come, you play, you decide. And that's fine. So there's always going to be people who don't particularly like me. I don't care as long as likes me.
I think there are only more people to like you. Haters are always there for even the biggest coach in the world.
Listen, I have a great love for India. I wouldn't have come back the second time if I didn't. I believe in Indian football. I believe there is so much more to come. But there is so much that we need to do, and that maybe that's for another podcast.
Yeah. So 2005, you had a very good 3 years with the Indian football team, and then you decided to go back to England. So was it something that you got offer from England, so you wanted to go back, or you was not offered the extension by AIFF that time? What was the story behind it?
Okay. In this business, when you've reached the end of your time. Okay, and I felt on both times, 3 years the first time and 4 years the second, that it was time for me to move on. Okay, in both times, I felt that I had taken India as far as I could. Now let somebody else take them from there up, because always you want the team to continue to progress. That was it. I came back to England, and within 2 months I was first team coach at Millwall in the Championship in England. So
yeah. And how different was that, coaching national teams and then coming to coach a club in Championship? Of course, it is not easy.
Well, a club in the Championship in England, and I would say without a shadow of a doubt that the Championship is the hardest league, bar none. Forget the Premier League.
Yeah.
The Premier League is a lot easier than playing in the Championship. For a start, you have more teams.
46 games for a season.
46 league games.
Yeah.
Put in the FA Cup, put in the Carabao Cup, put in the friendlies. and it is relentless. Every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and then a Saturday game, Sunday game. I used to leave my house at about 7:30 in the morning, and I would come back at 12. My dinner was in a microwave oven every night. I saw my kids less when I was in England at Millwall than I did when I was in India, because I was out most of the time watching games. I was responsible for the under-23s. I was responsible for the first team. So it was a lot of work. Obviously, the good and the bad. Playing Everton at Goodison Park in the FA Cup after a replay. Some great moments, but you know that's football. So
you know. And do you think this time with Millwall, help you to become a better person, better coach, to grow you were young that time, to grow as a coach? Because Championship, as you said, is the toughest league in the world. Players get good experience. They also progress in Championship. Same with the coaches we have seen in England.
Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, I had Jody Morris, I had Dave Livermore, some top players that played high levels. So it was tough because they didn't know me, and it's like, well, what's this guy going to do? How is he going to help us? And of course, you have those doubts from people around you, and for me, it's the same everywhere you go. You have to prove yourself. You have to win the players by your knowledge, but also by your empathy and by how you treat players. So I think I'm pretty straight when it comes to telling people what I think and how I want them to improve. And personally, I think every job I go to, I learn more, and I try to implement that when the next thing comes. So.
And basically, just one question before we move to your African safari, that how British media reacted to this, Championship club appointing a coach who was coaching India and Nepal before, what was the reaction that time, just to tell the viewers about it?
Zero. Absolutely zero. It wasn't even a sub-column in a backward paper. I think the only publicity that it got was Millwall themselves.
Official website.
Yeah, because they had to. We've got this guy, who knows, never heard of him. He's going to be the first team coach here at Millwall, but okay, let's see.
But contrary to that, I think you got that good coverage in India at that time, when you left for Millwall. It was, when you got the Millwall job, it was proud for Indian football, Indian national team former coach going to coach in the one of the top league of the Europe. So
yeah, look, I think we made a lot of progress in India. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time for the thing, and of course, I am absolutely delighted to be able to have done that. And glad that it reflects on India. So
yes. So now you have been to the various part and country and continent in the world. Let's talk about the African safari. You had a great experience in Africa. I have read a lot about it, especially in your book. So just tell us, how this African safari happened to you. You went there, coached multiple countries, and how was that experience different to India or England or Cyprus? Compared to these places.
How long do we have?
We hope so. We have some time. This you can summarize for our listeners.
Look, Africa is a special place. It is a continent where they have more talent than they know, and I think I can say that in India as well. We have more talent than we know, you hear so many bad things about Africa, and quite right. There's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of disease. And in Malawi, my first experience, the average age then was about 48, 50 years old. Malaria was rife. still is. And it was very, very difficult. But football has this ability to change people, and for 90 minutes at least, you can give somebody some happiness, where he can forget about the mess that is his home or the problems that they have. And I think that's what this game does. The fans in Africa are unbelievable in terms of the support, the lengths that they will go to watch a game. I mean, people were sitting in trees, 15 feet in the air to watch games. And we played against Morocco and the Malawi, Morocco, and it was 45,000, and you couldn't hear yourself think. The noise and the atmosphere was, it was quite good. Quite good.
Yeah. So you talk about malaria and other stuff during your first job in Africa. How tough was to convince your wife and family, to go for the job like this? No,
that was a solo.
So, but still you went, right? So how tough to convince them that I am going, to tell them I am going, and you stay here, you will not come?
Well, look, no thanks to India and Nepal. At that point, we had 3 daughters. We had a house, just moved into a new house. And I remember the Malawi job, all of our stuff was in storage. After India, we shipped all of our things to England. And then from England, it came to Cyprus. And I think a week before I left, we had 140 household boxes come, the couch, chairs, all this kind of. And I said, well, I'll see you later. I'm going to Malawi. So I left her with about 160 boxes and 3 kids, all under the age of 10 at that time. So my wife signed a contract in 95. And she's bound for life. So when it comes to, she may not like it, but it's in her contract, so she can't argue.
So you will I will do what I like. I will go and coach the football teams. You unbox these boxes. I don't want to unbox these boxes sitting at home.
Well, I must say that before I left, I did open 1 or 2 boxes, but she is an absolute saint, my wife, and my best signing ever. Yeah.
So then you went on to coach Sudan also, and then you came back to your native country, Cyprus. How special was that, to come back to your place where you belong and then work there?
Look, I was born in England. I came to Cyprus when I was 8 or 9 years old for the first time, and I spent half of my life living here. Geographically, it's beautiful. It's close to Asia, it's close to Africa, and it's in Europe. The quality of life here is good. The weather is good. So it was, for us, was perfect for what I do and my travels. Look, before I went to Nepal, I had coached in lower divisions in Cyprus. I won the under-18 championship unbeaten, won the Cyprus Cup. So I had done some things before I went on my international travels. And I came back to Abeb, who are almost already relegated when I got there. I finished the season with them. And then I went to Salamina, who were in last place in the 2nd division. We got promoted the same year. I went to them in October. And then the following year, we finished 5th, almost getting a Europa League spot. So it was great. I love the day-to-day of the club. And if you've noticed with all my national teams in Asia and Africa, I always take the under-23s.
Yeah, with India also.
There's 2 reasons I do that. The first reason is because I can see the players who are coming for the senior national team. I will train them the same way I would train the senior national team. So they have the consistency. Too many times you'll have one guy with the senior team, another one the national team, another one 19, 17, 15, all playing different systems, all have different ideas, all want to do their own thing. And that's great. But if we're thinking about the development, that was for me the reason. And I don't ask for more money. I want both teams in whatever is the agreed amount that you're going to spend. I will coach the second team as well because I want to see what's coming. And that includes my staff. So in India, all of the senior team worked in the under 23s. Now, that makes things much, much easier for the player. He's more comfortable. He understands what you want. He doesn't have to think, well, he doesn't like this, but the coach and the senior team doesn't like that, because it's the one and the same. So that's very important for me, and I've done that in all my national teams. The second reason is because I miss being with a team. Yeah. So really with the national team, it's 5 times a year. What am I going to do for the other times? Run around, watch games. I will do that, but let me have the under 23s because I need the field. I feel that my best work is on the field. So those are the 2 main reasons.
So
it's okay.
Yeah. So fast forward 2015, India was looking for a new coach after a failed experiment of big governments who came to implement Dutch philosophy in Indian football. And that I remember that period of time, India was struggling to beat somebody like Nepal, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Maldives. And then, we were linked to you back those days. So how this happened, why you thought you need to come back, who approached you, and why you took that challenge, because that Indian team was very old when you came. So just tell us the initial part, and then we'll ask a few more questions about it.
Okay, well, at the time I was in Rwanda. We had just qualified for the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, which was huge. We had a team, reminds me a little bit of India, because also when I went there was quite old team. We changed, put a lot of kids in. And our first game was against Libya, who were coached by he was a Spanish coach. He was the national coach for Spain. I can't remember his name. We beat them 3-0. Then we faced DRC Congo. First game we went to Pointe Noire. We lost 2-0. And then we bring them back to Rwanda. We beat them 2-0 and it went to penalties. And we won, and that qualified us for the African Cup of Nations. The atmosphere, the people were in the streets. It was unbelievable. And that's why, when you talk about Africa, the feeling, the government issued a national holiday. I had received a couple of calls. Would I be interested in the national team for my old captain, Baichung?
Oh.
Would I be interested? Now, at that time, I had come back from Rwanda. I was in Cyprus, and Rwanda was suspended from the qualifiers because a player had 2 passports, one from Congo and one from Rwanda. He'd be playing for the national team for 5 years for Rwanda, so I don't know what it was. It was appealed, we lost, and there was no games. So when the opportunity then came from Baichung and the AIFF, I said, okay, let me take this. Let me see. Obviously, I kept in touch, and I was watching an ISL game in Rwanda, just to let you know. I then had some discussions with Mr. Kushal Das, and I flew over. I think it was in January.
Yeah. So not many people talk about it. You came to India. You made some changes. You implemented a scouting system. You picked your ex-players. Abhishek Yadav, Joe Polocheri, Deepak Ghosh. these player to scout player for you. That was very unique model, anywhere in the world. Then also you brought Danny from Australia, who was trainer and the sports scientist for national team, Brazilian goalkeeping coach. So what was
there?
Yeah, Rosero.
He was there the first time.
Yeah, he was there with the first time also with you.
Ramos. I took him from Salgonca, not Salgonca, the other team from Goa.
Churchill?
No. Sporting maybe, yeah. He was a keeper for one of the clubs there.
Okay. So then you brought the fresh staff. You started, and you also got somebody like Venkatesh on your coaching staff. Yeah. So how was the thought process, to come back and meet players who you have coached? Now they moved to the next phase of their life, and why you decided to utilize them to become a scout or to get into the coaching staff of yours?
Okay, look, every coach has his own way of playing the game. You touched upon the Dutch philosophy. Everywhere they go, it has to be the Dutch way, and the Spanish coaches do the same. Now, I don't agree with that. I think you have to adapt your philosophy to the locality of the players. We have to find our style of play in India. We can't play a game if we don't have the players to play that game. And that's what I did. So who better to find players than players who played for me, know exactly what I want, know the attitude that I want. For me, it was a no-brainer. When I bought Vinky to be my assistant coach, he didn't have a coaching license. And people were saying, I said, look, Venky is not going to coach the team. I'm going to coach the team. But Venky will be able to learn from the game, and he will enlist on the C license, the B license, and what have you. And now I'm very happy to say that Venky has an A license.
Yeah.
But he learned a lot of things being with us, and plus he's very good at reading the game, and he can see a player. Okay, I can say to Vinky, go and watch 100 players, and he will pick a player, and we will both like that player because he knows exactly what I want, which is why he was very, very valuable for me, and I think he has to be the best young Indian coach at the moment. I haven't seen any others. So that was the thought process, and how the scouting network of the ex-players help. Can you tell us one player, maybe one, they might have suggested to many players. So can you tell one notable player who came to the national team setup because of those scouts? I can take another name, Rolvin Borges. Rolvin Borges, I remember this because I had words with his coach. He came on as substitute in a game, and I said to the coach after the game, well done, Baba. Why is he not playing in the first team? Oh, coach, doesn't have experience, not ready. I said, I'm picking him for the national team, just so you know, and he's going to play. So you're going to look pretty silly if I've picked a player for the national team and he can't play in your local team. Something wrong. And that's what happened. But Ashish Negi was one. There's loads.
Yeah,
loads.
And what was the major difference you saw in Indian football back in 2002 and then coming back in 2015? Major difference you saw which got changed, comparing you to both stints?
Interest. Interest, I should clarify that. Interest from non-football people.
Okay.
So the executives from big companies saying, oh, hang on a minute, we can play football. There's an opportunity here. There's a bit of marketing there. Unfortunately, all around the world, there are a lot of people who know nothing about football, don't love the game, but are making money out of the game. And if they would take a little bit of time and think how much the game means to so many people, I think it would be better, but okay, this is...
Yeah. And then you went on to win SAF Championship in Kerala. Then you went on to unbeaten streak of 13 games, which is very
14,
unheard of. 14 games. Unheard of in national team. And also, basically, we started again with Nepal. I remember Chetri scoring 2 goals in Guwahati to get into the main qualifiers, group stage, which India came last. And then when we lost against Guam, that was a very controversial moment. Worldwide media picked up, how a tiny island defeated India. Because that's how they wanted to feed people, they did not tell that the MLS player playing for them. So how was...
Yeah, but that's... People didn't write that. They had De La Garza, who was playing for LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
And another 9 players that were playing at various levels in the United States. No one said any of that. In fact, they had 1 player from Guam.
Yeah, only 1 player.
1. But no one talked about that. The other thing that they don't talk about is 2 days after, there was the ISL medical examination. Do you think the players were thinking about that? I'm pretty sure they were. Let's not get injured in this game because we're not going to get the ISL contract. And that was, again, that was swept under the carpet.
And plus the long journey, you have to go to Guam, and the Astros.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I don't make excuses for the team. We didn't play very good. We thought we were going to go there and beat them, and we didn't respect them, and we got punished. Clear and simple, and I don't blame anything else, but you've got to think about those things. No one mentioned that there were 9 Americans playing in the team. No one mentioned that we got back on Monday. On Wednesday, they had to report for medicals to pass the medical to get the contract. So we were not firing on all cylinders in that game, and that's not an excuse. It's
it's just the circumstances,
Yeah.
So one group stage went well for us, but during those group stage games, you gave lots of debuts to the Indian player. You tried to change, bring the youth in, brought down the average age. When the next group stage happened for Asia Cup, India did not qualify for 2015 Asia Cup, and then during that group stage run, you went on to 14 game unbeaten run, record high FIFA ranking, defeated Myanmar, Kyrgyzstan, various teams. So how was your memory of that qualification run towards Asia Cup?
Look, the first game was away to Myanmar.
Yeah, we won 2-1.
Didn't beat Myanmar for 62 years. Okay, in Myanmar. And I felt in that group, Myanmar, Kyrgyzstan, teams were the teams that could give us problems. I felt we would, easy or not easy, as long as we didn't underestimate them, but that we would beat Macau. Winning the way we won in Myanmar, which was extremely hostile, but we were ready, we were prepared. The boys were fit, they worked their socks off from the first minute to the last minute. We scored the goal, I think it was in the 88th minute or something like this. It was a counter-attack that was finished off by Sunil, but the play from Udanta down the side was unbelievable. I mean, he was, we clocked him about 30 miles per hour, kilometers per hour that he was going at that time. And Chetri also was there or thereabouts. Great pass, great finish. And it was a fantastic result for us for the first game in the qualifiers. We then played Kyrgyzstan at home. I would say we played a similar game. They had the ball. We worked hard. We pressed. We didn't give them time. We are going to get, because of the way we play, we are always going to get opportunities. Some people say, "Oh, we play defense. We play long ball." But if you watch how we play, then you'll see that we play long ball. At times. We don't want to make a mistake in the back, so sometimes you can't pass your way out of the situation. Sometimes you just got to get rid of it. Let's not make mistakes in the defensive third.
And the basic of the game.
Yeah, hello. We scored a similar goal. The pass from JJ was absolutely world class.
The chip he did for Chhetri,
Yeah, and well, that's why he's there, no? But if he doesn't get the pass, he ain't gonna score.
Yeah, it was amazing goal.
Yes, but you look at that pass from JJ. He lifted it above the defender just at the right time, and again, Chhetri's timing in the box is excellent.
And Chhetri scored lots of worldies during your stint. I remember the goal against Oman he scored in Bangalore against Al Habsi from his left foot. I think for me that is one of the best goal, because the situation he was in, the goalkeeper he was facing, and on his weaker foot. I think that was one of the best goal I've seen Chhetri scored during my time of watching him. What do you feel about that goal?
He's scored some great goals. I mean, he's a great striker.
Yeah. So let's move towards India qualified for Asia Cup, after missing 2015 edition. And then there was a preparation for Asia Cup. So first question is, what is your reflection on the draw, getting UAE, Bahrain, Thailand in a group? Do you think it was a good draw or it was a tough draw? We could have got a better draw. What is your initial reaction when draw happened?
Honestly, I don't care. When I say I don't care, at this level, they're all going to be tough teams. Could we got a better draw? What does that mean? The only thing it means is that can we get out of the group? That was the intent, and that group was a group that we should have got out of.
Okay. So, and what about pre-tournament preparation? Do you feel that we could have done better to prepare for tournament of, because for India, World Cup is a distant dream and Asia Cup is like a World Cup for us, If you can do well in Asia, there will be eyeballs on you, you will attract new fans, you will attract more sponsors. So do you feel that we could have taken the preparation more seriously? We could have done better to prepare for it?
Look, I remember sitting down with the ISL and asking them to give me the month of December, from the beginning of December, to give me 3 weeks before we needed to be in the UAE. Okay? And they couldn't give me that. So I didn't have 3 weeks, I had 10 days. And in that time, we played, we went to Jordan, a strong team. And that trip was an absolute nightmare. There were some issues with the flights. We had to travel in 2 groups. Half of the team were stuck in Kuwait. They had, for the first time in a zillion years, they had floods. No flights were leaving Kuwait. So we actually we had asked to cancel the game. I had 13 players, I believe, no strikers, and missing one of the midfield players. We had to play that game. Then the other guys came on the day of the game after spending 48 hours on the floor in Kuwait. There was no way I was going to play those players. Absolutely no way, and we didn't. We lost the game 2-1. A weird game, but we gave a good account of ourselves. And then we had the game in China, and then we had a game in UAE against Oman. So we had a game in October, a game in November, and a game in December. Would I have liked to have had 1 or 2 more games? Sure, but I could not do that in the time that we had. Obviously, had I have got the month of December, then I would have had time to make a few more games. But I don't think it was affected us in any way that we didn't have the games. The players were fit because they were playing in the ISL. So
I think one word which I have to say about you, the Stephen Constantine is the person who will adjust to the circumstances. Even coaching in Nepal, India, Africa, Europe, back in India. So whatever circumstances are thrown into towards you, I think you will adjust with it and you will get result out of it. That's what I feel, during this whole talking about your journey. So now let's talk about the historic victory over Thailand, was favorite before the game,
Yeah.
when match started, we defeated them. What was the feeling, to win the game in the main tournament of Asia Cup after so many editions?
Look, I think we've been to the Asian Cup 3 times before, but this was the first time that we qualified on merit. Means we went through the qualifying process. The other invitational, and the third one was
Challenge Cup. AFC Challenge Cup.
Yeah. Look, I know that we were probably one of the fittest teams at the Asian Cup. I know this for a fact on the basis of numbers. Okay. We may not have the technical ability that some of the teams had, but there is not a team in the Asian Cup that would outwork us.
Yeah.
And we have this.
High pressing from high intensity and high pressing from different line,
Yeah, but generally, look, we know in games that we're going to not have the ball. So when you don't have the ball, you have to play a certain way. And in my philosophy is that if we had much better technically players, say like Iran or UAE or okay, I don't say Thailand because I think we are more or less the same level, but it's difficult, and so you need the mentality to be. We're going not to have the ball. When we do, let's make the most of it. And I thought that game was fantastic moment for us, for the fans, for the country, and we were clinical. I mean, 4-1 at international level is not an everyday occurrence. So extremely proud of that performance, and obviously we are 1 foot in the last 16.
And then going against host, UAE. Do you feel that I was just checking out the stats. India had more shots on target compared to UAE. They had 2 shots on target, 2 goals.
Yeah.
Do you feel that we missed our chances there? We could have done better against them. At least get a draw. It would have made it easier for you.
We created enough chances to win that game 2 times over. We hit the crossbar twice.
Yeah, 9 shots.
The coach, Mr. Zaccaroni, come up to me after the game and he said to me, "You didn't deserve to lose this game." But that's football, and that's what I said to the boys in the change rooms afterwards. I said, "This is the difference between the top level and the not top level. We didn't take. We could have won 5-0. Zaccaroni would have been on the next plane back to Italy." And we would have been in the last 16, and we put in the last game. We don't care what happens, okay? But we didn't take our chances. We played well. We outfought them. We outrun them. As you said, we had 1 mistake just before the first half. And of course, you are trying to catch the game. You a little bit less defensive, if you like. Okay. They scored the second goal, and that was also late. But this is the difference between the good teams and the great teams. Did we deserve to win that? Yes, absolutely. Did we deserve to draw? Zaccaroni would have been smiling with the draw. We lost. Now, before you answer me the last question, I know what the last question is. Okay, we did not ever at any time say, let's sit back and defend and get a draw with Bahrain. That is not my personality. That is not the way that I've played. And certainly after 2 fantastic performances in the first 2 games, we were not going to sit and let Bahrain decide what is going to happen in this game. Now, first, we didn't play very well. We didn't play as well as we played in the other game. Were we nervous? Yeah, I think we were. At halftime, I said to them, listen, calm down, relax, we got this. Keep it nice and tight at the back, no silly mistakes. They have to come on to us. We will get chances. and be patient. And we did that, okay? But as time was going, we started to come back and back and back. And we were defending 10 yards outside our 18-yard box. And I kept screaming, push them up, don't sit back. We can't afford to do that. And then you see the goal in the 93rd minute was a cross. The ball went underneath Gurpreet. It went to the other side. It came back. And then Ranjan cleared the ball. On another day, he puts the ball out of the stadium. This day, it goes to the 18-yard box. The guy makes a move. Pranay put his foot out. The guy went over. Penalty. How can you plan? How can you plan that? You can't. Were we guilty of defending too deep in the last 10, 15 minutes? Yes. Could I have done anything different? Well, unless I could have called a timeout and gone into the game. I mean, I lost my voice shouting because we were too deep. We weren't holding the ball either when we did get the ball. So it was, look, they gave everything. And when a team gives everything, you can't ask for more. I knew at that moment that for me, it was time to step down. We had a wonderful 4 years. We achieved everything and more that we set out to do. I'm extremely proud of the players, the staff. I mean, you talk about Gigi Bai, the best physiotherapist on the planet. Leah Cat, who was the masseur and saw the swimming pool twice without wanting to actually see the swimming pool. You know, I had so many good people around. Shanta Gobinath, the secretary, who takes all the crap from everybody because of me, travel or this, I want this. And then you got the hierarchy at the AIFF. They gave me almost everything that I needed. And it was a fantastic time. Do I wish that we would have gone to the last 16 and played China? Hell yeah, of course.
We drawn against China before the build of the tournament, you know. We could have taken our chances against them.
Yes, but it didn't happen. And I think now Igor has to now take them to the next level because you have inherited a winning team. So what you do now is up to you, and I sincerely wish him luck. Now,
at least the minimum bar for the Indian football fans is to reach the Asia Cup again. You know, we can't afford to miss the next Asia Cup with a kind of.
Ashish, we when I first joined, Mr. Kushal Das said to me, "Coach, we want World Cup," and I said, "Mr. Das, we're not going to the World Cup anytime soon. We have nothing in India. We have done nothing to prepare to go to the World Cup. What we need," I said, "is to qualify for the Asian Cup 2-3 times in a row, where the players are experienced in the Asian Cup. They know what it means. And you know what? The average age, we were the second youngest team in the Asian Cup. Okay? 23, we had 23-man squad, 14 were under 23. So do we have a nucleus to continue that? Yes. Now it's up to the Igor to take them back to the Asian Cup. And I hope he does.
Yeah. So we talked about your journey. Now, little bit about the domestic structure in India. Now ISL is top league in India. ATK and Mohun Bagan are merged together. They will play together in ISL. I-League has become a second league. So lots of controversy, lots of thoughts from both sides of fans, both sides of officials. What do you think about this situation? You know, it is a very unique situation. Not anywhere in the world you have two leagues, you know, and not enough time for national teams. So what are your thoughts on these? You know, I don't want to ask you specific, but just to get an overall thoughts of your on the domestic structure.
Okay. My first impression is, as long as Indian players are playing, it doesn't matter if we have one league or 10 leagues. Okay? We need Indian players to be playing at the highest level in India at least. Now, the I-League did that for some years. there were problems, whatever, the ISL came. In the United States, you got the MLS, you have the USL, and you have NISA, which is a third league. They don't care where they get their players from, but they have Americans playing in all of those leagues. So it's not the issue, we've got one league or two league. The issue is that there is a pathway that is going to benefit India. I'm delighted that they have come, and I don't look at the I League as the second division or the ISL. It's one league as far as I'm concerned, and I don't care what you call it. The biggest issue for me, and I said this from day one, was we cannot have 7 or 6 or 5 or 4 foreigners playing in our domestic leagues if we want to develop the Indian player, if we want to create new players who are going to play in all positions. I am delighted, finally, 5 years after I asked for this, it's happening because of the AFC, not because of us, by the way.
Yeah,
okay.
So AFC roadmap.
Let's be clear, this is not our choice. It was my choice from the beginning. How can we develop players if they're not playing? How can we develop strikers if every foreign team is going to get 2 strikers and the Indian striker is put out on the left side or the right side or in the middle, or in one case he was put at left back.
Yeah, wing back.
Yeah. So you have to think of the bigger picture. The national team is your cover, your book cover, your front door. You like the front door, you like the shop, because of the window of the shop, you go inside. You don't like it, you don't go in. And no one wants to come in. We are paying stupid money to average players who don't work. Okay, too many teams in the ISL have done this. Some are still doing it, but it's their money. What am I going to do? Instead of focusing on the young Indian players, developing our academies, okay, this is for me. So I think very good step. It's 3 plus an Asian, and I can live with that.
Yeah, so you touched the point of Indian players not getting much playing time. So India has Sunil Chhetri, 1 goal scorer, say maybe JJ, a 2nd goal scorer. We are not able to find another striker. So what do you think, is just playing time, or the coach is putting Indian striker on the wings, that India is not able? Because when I am Vijayan on the last phase of life of the playing career, we have Baichung Bhutia coming up. When Baichung was in the last phase of his playing career, we have Sunil Chhetri coming up. I can't say the same for anybody else right now, but Sunil Chhetri is on the last phase of his career. I don't think we have anybody we can say, okay, we have somebody, who can take the baton from the great Sunil Chhetri.
But you see, you are looking at it from the wrong angle. We are not trying to replace Bhutia or Chhetri or Vijayan. That's not what we are trying to do. That's not what we should be trying to do. Every team should be trying to produce 3 or 4 strikers in their team. Where's the development? What's happening at? We talk about these baby leagues and these stuff. That's where that begins. That has to be done. You're not replacing one player. You're not trying to replace one player. We keep on. We have to replace this guy. No, we don't. There are some young Indian players. They need time. Manveer Singh, Farooq, a few others, Asi. There's a couple of other youngsters as well that are coming up. But they need to be given opportunities. They need to be coached. And you see, you need a foundation. A player needs a foundation. We are not producing players in India, we are finding players. Once we understand that we should be producing players, then we will have them coming off like a conveyor belt. It will be a factory, and we will produce 25 strikers. They're not all going to be top class. 5 of them are going to be top class. Okay, we will produce 36 goalkeepers. 6 of them will be good. 3 of them will be world class. We are finding them, we're not producing. That's the difference between India and Japan and Iran and UAE and Thailand and China, they are producing players. We are finding players.
So, Coach, I don't know how do you remember this or not? When you came to India in 2015, you were here in our office very early when you came, and I remember all these things, whatever you've said till now, what India need to do. You said same thing that time also in 2015, and then when you went back from the office, I thought the coach is right, but I was worried that will you survive in this situation which was around you? And I'm glad you did, and India went to Asia Cup, and you said same thing. I remember word by word, whatever you're saying right now. Of course, that was the personal conversation, but you said the same thing at this office in 2015.
When I came in 2015, a certain journalist gave me a paper clipping. Okay, and what I said we needed to do when I left India in 2005.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same thing that I told you in your office, and I tell anybody who wants to listen to me. Okay, it's possible, but we got to do things to make it happen. And if we don't do those things, it won't happen. It's not rocket science. You look all over the world. Iceland. How does Iceland go to a World Cup? 350,000 population. It's not about population. It's about education. If we are not giving the players the information, how are they going to learn? How are they going to have the foundation to go and play in Europe? We have one player who went and played in Europe, and he came back because he doesn't have the foundation. Where is he going to get the foundation? He has to get it from India. He's not going to get it when he goes outside because they don't have time for this. The foreign clubs, they want ready play, not, well, he'll be ready in 6 months. We don't have 6 months. We're going to bring a foreigner from India to play in Europe, and he doesn't have the foundation. How is he going to play? You tell me, Ashish, how many players are playing outside of India right now? Indians? None. And why is that?
So we know the reason, first of all, the quality is not the same which European clubs required. Another thing, which I want to ask, FIFA is set to expand the FIFA World Cup to 48 nations. We are told that, that it will be 8.5 slots for Asia, 8 slots plus 1 playoff slots. Do you think if India can make a plan, then in 20 years time, I'm not saying say 2026, say 2034, we can push for that 0.5 or 8 spot from Asia? Do you think it is realistic for India to think about it?
We made a plan in 2015.
We are making plan every 3 years, coach.
Yeah, but listen to me. We made a plan in 2015. And in 2019, we achieved what we wanted to achieve. Okay? But I maintain that if we are not developing our players, it doesn't matter how many plans you make. They have to be, they have to have the foundation. If they don't have a foundation, they will not be able to make the next step. So, is it possible? Yes, of course it is. I know the Indian mentality that when they decide to do something, they do it. Okay. We put a rocket on the moon 3 years ago. Yeah. It took the Europeans and the Americans twice as long, twice as costly, and we brought back the sand from Mars and we're selling it to the Americans. Because we decided that we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We have to decide, and then you have to put the right people in the right place to implement this.
Okay, so let's talk about something personal to you. I think most of the Indian football fans know about it. Your motivation to write the book Delhi to the Den, which was one of the best seller in India in football books, by the way, Indian football. So how, when you decided that you want to pen down your journey, and the title is basically Delhi to the Den, can you tell the viewers about it? I think it's still available in India. People can buy it. So it will be great if you can.
Yeah. Please do. We're jobless.
Of course, we'll share the link with all of our fans. So just tell us.
No. Look, it wasn't my idea. I have the guy who wrote it, Owen Amos, from the BBC. We were having coffee at the one of the I think it was King's Cross station, And he said, you have a book in you, don't you? And I said, yeah. I said, but who's going to read it? He goes, listen, he says, you have a fantastic story. This started in, the book was released in 2018.
Yeah.
This happened in 2012, where he said, we have a story here. It took him 3 years to find somebody to publish the book. No, he's not a big enough name. No, India. And this was the reaction we had. Oh, India, but who cares about India? And it was that. Eventually, he came across a guy called the Corbiton Publishers. We had to do 3 chapters. So we did 3 different chapters. We sent it, and he says, you know what? This has legs. Let's see. That started in 2012. So I would say around 2015, we had found a publisher, then we had to write the book, finish the chapters and what have you. And that was it. I remember when it came out, controversy, Constantine saying things about this and that. And, I remember Mr. Dasa says, have you read the book? He goes, no, they've taken some lines out. Oh, of course they have. But read the book. I didn't write the book to shock. I didn't write the book to make money. I get 60p every time a book is sold. Because actually I get £1.20, but I agreed to give the guy who wrote the book with me a 50-50. So I get a massive 60p. I don't know what that is in rupees. Maybe it's what? 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Yeah. So we've sold. I need to sell quite a few books if I'm going to make any money. I did it because it's been a struggle for me. I didn't play in big leagues. I was not a big name player. I love this game more than anything. And it was an opportunity for other people to say, well, if he can do it, so can I. So that's what it's about. And, the last chapter in the book, my eldest daughter, she writes it from her perspective. So it was nominated for Football Book of the Year in 2018. So I'm happy with that. And if people read it and they like it, happy. I'm just very fortunate that I've had the opportunities to do what I've done. And who knows, maybe there's from Delhi to somewhere else in a few years.
Yeah, and it's not just a book or something, it's a journey which you made. Not many people have done this, right? Africa, Asia, Europe, and countries like Rwanda, India, Nepal. It's something very different and unique, and this journey need to be told, not just to current people, in the future also people need to know about it. So my question to, after getting so much success all across the world, and I think I read somewhere in the British press, you are one of the most traveled British coach who has went out of the country and got these football jobs. Do you feel that you were not given enough chances in the England? Even after coming back from India, there were talks of you getting job in England or USA. Do you feel that after doing so much, you deserve that one chance, maybe in Championship, maybe League One with some good club who can trust you, give you some time to build your philosophy?
Yeah, look, do I feel I deserve? Yes, I feel I should be given the opportunity. I don't think people fully appreciate what we did in India. And to be honestly, most people don't care what we do in India from a football perspective. Okay, we are not seen as powerhouses of football, not even in Asia. The fact that we were 176 and we went to 96, we qualified for the Asian Cup. We took the youngest team in Indian history to a major final, the second youngest team at the tournament. We absolutely destroyed Thailand And I don't know how we didn't qualify. But and then you have people like Carlos Queiroz, who was interviewed in the UAE about Iran, and he started talking about India.
Yeah, I remember.
And us. I think that's a massive compliment to me, to the players, India and Indian football. Look, there are a lot of good people who are not working at the moment. Of course, I feel if I was given the opportunity in England, I would do a good job. I feel if you give me an opportunity in any league, I would do a good job. I'm not stupid enough to know that it's only going to be me. So I'll get the best people around me and do the best job I possibly can. But look, I've had a fantastic break. I needed it, honestly. I swim every day, sometimes 2.5, 3 kilometers in the sea. So I see my wife every day, which she's starting to get a little bit fed up of me and asking me when you're going to find the team and get the hell out of here. We celebrated our 25th anniversary last year, and somebody asked me what the secret was, and she says it's because he's always away. So she may be right, but look, it's no one person has a divine right in this business. We are all extremely privileged to be in the game. Am I looking forward to coming back? I can't wait. God help the team that I find, because I will be doing so much work with them. They're going to ask me to. No, so I think it's that's the way of the world. So
that was my next question, basically. What next for Stephen Constantine? You know, what you're looking for? Did you get any offers till now since you came back from India? Do you want to coach in England? Do you want to go to USA? You're looking for a national team job? You're looking for a club job? What next? According to you, what is next for you?
Well, Ashish, I have understood very early on in my career that it doesn't matter what I want. It's what's put on the table in front of you, and are you going to take it or not? I've had 1 or 2 offers from India. To be honest, after leaving the national team, I did not want to come directly back to India 6 months, a year later. I wanted there to be a little bit of time, break. I needed the break. I would like club. Last week, I was offered Equatorial Guinea, which is in West Africa.
Yeah, national team job.
Yeah. So not really, I don't really, I had a look, okay, no. But my preference would be national club team. But if there was a good national team, I don't say Equatorial Guinea is not good. I don't know if that would have been for me. I don't want to go to a team just to be a coach in a team that has no aspirations. That doesn't do me any good. I have still I have plenty of years in my career, so I don't just want to be there just to take the money and not have an opportunity to be successful.
And by the way, they are 74th in FIFA ranking, of course, above India. Equatorial Guinea, I was just checking that. They are 74 in the FIFA ranking, Equatorial Guinea, I was just checking that. So way above India. So I will just tell you one funny thing, you know. I have some friends who are working in Pakistani football, British guy. He's in UK. So he always joke with me whenever we speak, you know. He says, I will love to bring Stephen Constantine to Pakistan national team job. The kind of player we have playing all across the Europe, he will be the best coach to get them into a team and play them at the national level and get success. You know, he always tell me, but of course, the Pakistani football is not at the on the right shape right now with the FIFA and the AFC.
A couple of friends of mine in India, when I left or before I left India the first time, they said to me, Coach, we wish you luck. You go anywhere in the world, but not Pakistan. If you go to Pakistan, we'll never speak to you again.
So I think my friend have got an answer now. Maybe he will not approach you if he gets something in the future.
Unfortunately, they are having some very...
Yeah, so hopefully their football will be back. So it's good to have rivals playing, you know. I think it's...
I will share you something that Mr. Kushal Das said to me over the phone the day before the game with Pakistan in the South.
Yeah.
He said, you can't come back if you don't win.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure how serious he was.
Okay. So just one question about, did any ISL team approach you? And if they approach you, will you take the job? Because Chennai is looking for the coach, Chennai FC. And maybe mid-season, there will be some vacancies getting open. Because in ISL, things change very quickly. We have seen coaches getting fired out of 4 or 5 games. So will you take that risk?
Yeah, look, as I said before, if it's the right situation, I'm open. I can't comment on a particular club. It would be unfair. But I am open to coming back to India. I think I can do a lot of things for the club on and off the field. It's up to one of those teams to decide that they can work with me. What do they want from the club? But if they want to win, then okay.
I think it's not just about one season. Right? If you want to come back, you will think about a project, for 2 years, 3 years, we're going to build something very special.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you said if there's a team in bad shape in mid-season and you get a call, you're going to go and try to put the fire out. Okay, but ideally, you want a project where we say, look, this is us now. You have to be able to see the end. So when I sat down with Mr. Das and Mr. Patel, we talked about this, I could see the beginning, the middle, and the end. And if you remember at my first press conference, I said, guys, we are not going to win early.
Yeah, I remember.
We're going to have some dark days because we need to change a lot of things quickly, and change doesn't happen over 5 minutes. So yes, many of my jobs have been to fix fires, come in and save us. In India, it wasn't come and save us; it was come and let's rebuild.
Rebuild us, we were completely kind of destroyed. I will say the word is destroyed after that 3 years under Wim Commonwealth.
We are not anymore. We have the respect of Asia, and thanks to, again, the players and everybody involved. But to answer your question, I am open to coming back, but I am not coming back to a team that they don't have any idea what they're doing, or there's no point to do that. I don't need to do that.
Any team have approached you till now since you came back? We don't need names. We just want to know, have anybody thought that?
Yes.
Okay.
I had three approaches.
From ISL only?
2 from ISL, 1 from I-League.
Okay. So I have now 2 questions for you, then a rapid fire round, which will be very quick. So this is not question. I want to pick your combined India 11 from your both stint, 11 players, which you think you are, your ideal team from both the stint. So let's start from the goalkeeper. Who will be your goalkeeper?
Gurpreet.
Right back.
Samir Naik.
Both the centre back.
Both the centre backs. Devjit Ghosh, Mahesh Kawali.
Okay, left back.
Left back. Left back.
Tough position, not many names. It's all over the world same. When England is struggling for the left back.
Left back. I would go Subhasis Bose.
Yeah, he did well, in the last 2 years of your journey here.
I struggled, but you see, with him, I can play him in different positions. That's why I had him as a left central defender, which he can also play.
Yeah. So I think we'll go with 4-4-2, right? Do you want to go 4-4-2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 centre midfielder.
2 centre midfield players. I'm going to go as my holding player, Pranay and Venki.
Pranay and Venki. Right midfielder. Right-sided of midfielder.
Tomba Singh.
Famba Singh, special player. Left sided of midfielder.
Left side. Probably go with Singh.
I think it's fantastic. Now, here is the choice you need to make: two forwards. So I think you have a couple of names which you want to, which might be coming on your mind. So which two you will choose?
Baichung, 100%. I am Vijen.
Baichung and I am Vijen. Any special mention who you want to take in this team? Who could be here in the team, but just because these other players are better.
Joe Polancheri could be there. I think Sunil could be there. But that would be my best 11.
And I think that would be a very good combination of players, from the top to the bottom.
Asian Cup all day long.
Okay, so now here is one question. Two guests before you who came on this podcast, we have just started, this is third episode. So they made one specific comments regarding a specific situation. I know we did not wanted to speak about it, but I just wanted people to know your thoughts, because they were direct comments made towards you. First by Joe Morrison, who was basically involved with Gurpreet. He said, during the build up of the Asia Cup, he told Joe that Gurpreet need to play, and if he's not playing there, he need to come back and play in India. And he said that played an important role to come back for Gurpreet to sign for Bangalore. Another, yesterday, Beto was with me, former Dempo forward, Brazilian guy. He took Romeo to Atletico Paranaense. He said that Romeo was on a project of 3 years, and there is no Indian player who will come and straight away start playing in 3 months, And then there was a pressure from Stephen and his agent to come back to India, to sign for Indian team and to play India. So I know you don't want to spark any controversy here, but I just want to know your thought process and your say on this, or your side of the picture.
Okay, Joe Morrison, sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. I and him didn't want Gurpreet to come back, okay? But on the proviso that he's playing games. And I said to him, if he's in Norway and not playing games, how can he come and play for us? In the national team, our target is thing. And he made the decision. He came back to sign for Bangalore, and I'm absolutely pleased because at that time for Gurpreet, it was absolutely the best move.
Just before Asia Cup, to get the game time was also important.
Well, it was a year before the Asian Cup, so he would have a full season playing with Bangalore. He would be with us at camps. There would be no issues, and yes, that's true. As far as Mr. Beto is concerned, I don't have an agent.
No, you was talking about Romeo agent, not your agent. Romeo agent.
Was doing what?
He was saying the Romeo agent played important role, and of course Stephen said that he need to come back. If he's not playing there is no benefit of him staying in Brazil.
I never had that conversation.
Okay.
I never spoke to Beto. I never spoke to Beto's agent. We called Romeo to a camp. He came. He did okay. We called him to another camp, and he didn't turn up. He was even suspended by the AIFF. So was I waiting for Romeo to come back? No, I wasn't. And I didn't speak to anyone about him either.
Okay. So it was good to speak to you. Let's talk about rapid fire. Some quick question. You have to tell me the first thing come to your mind when I ask this question. Okay. So you don't need to think much. Just tell me the first thing which come to your mind. First feeling and impression when you came to India and the boat stint. What you thought?
Love.
The aspect you enjoy most in India?
Everything.
One thing about life in India you miss right now back in Cyprus?
Chicken tikka murg malai.
You can?
Murg malai, chicken.
Okay. That's the next question. Thoughts on Indian food?
Food.
And any favorites which are missing right now?
No, I absolutely love Indian food. So I like dal. So let's say dal.
Have you eaten it since came back to Cyprus? Able to get some desi around?
it doesn't compare, so I don't bother.
Okay. So this is tough one. Favorite Indian player? One player.
All of them.
Just one, please.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't because they have all given me everything they have. How could I say one above the other?
Yeah. Most. What do you think? Right now, who's the most talented Indian youngster? He might be not playing for India right now. He might be under 16, under 19. But you have watched him closely because you have been following your teams when you're here.
I can. But these are unfair questions because I can't. I'm not neutral. I have to be neutral. I cannot be.
Okay. Do you think there is any Indian player who should try and play football, who should try and go abroad to play football, who think can do good in Europe, for example?
Yes.
Can you name a couple of them for us, for our viewers?
I think Gurpreet should get out.
Okay.
I think I would like to see Pranay out. Subhasish Bose, I would like to see him out. There's Tapa, I would like to see out. Ashik Konyan, big, strong beast. He just needs the foundations. But I don't know who's going to give them this opportunity. But I thought Ashik up front against Thailand absolutely destroyed them. And that was the first time he played as a striker.
Yeah, I remember that. Any regrets from the Indian both the stint? Do you think one thing which could have done, could have gone better for you?
I wish we'd have gone to the last 16.
Best match to have coached India in from both the stints?
Both stints. The final in the LG Cup. And I think the game with Thailand.
Okay, so this is just last one I want to ask. For example, just say that tomorrow you get a job in Europe, say anywhere in Cyprus or any European league. I'm not saying Premier League. Say Norway, Sweden, Finland.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to sign one Indian player. Which Indian player you will sign from the current who are playing right now?
Tapa.
Thank you, coach. It was fantastic. We have never seen you speaking with from such open heart. Telling your points, telling your journey, sharing your thoughts. It was great pleasure to have you on board. And a big thank you to you for joining us today, all the way from Cyprus. And just to our listener, don't forget you can listen to our all episode of the Beyond the Score podcast. On the top platform like Spotify, iTunes, JioSaavn, Ghana, and Anchor, and of course you can watch them on our YouTube channel, Khel Now TV. Any last message for Indian football fans, Stephen?
I would say stay safe, look after yourselves, wear your masks. It's terrible time for everybody, but let's keep our discipline. And make sure that our family and friends are not dying around us.
Okay. So ISL, hopefully, if we might start very soon in a couple of months. Will you following it from Cyprus, yes, or anywhere you will be?
For sure. Listen, India is a big part of my life, on and off the field. So I consider India my home. I will always follow Indian football, whether I'm there or not.
I hope to see you again for the third stint in India very soon, hopefully. So it will be great to meet you and, discuss more, talk more, and to see your team play the way it play, and thank you very much for joining us. It was great. It was my pleasure to, talk to you. And it was always, I don't know, I have spoken to you so many times, but this was great because we have discussed all this stuff from Africa, from India, from England to family to everything. I think you might not have spoken in so much detail before. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you to all our viewers and listeners for watching and listening to. This is your host, Ashish Negi, signing off. Thank you.